Hello, welcome back to Yoga with Elizabeth. Today I have for you a 10-minute practice for your balance. I'm actually going to do two of these videos, so this is part one. Now, when we think about balance in yoga, we generally think about standing in a tree position and trying to stay as still as we can in this posture. But in day-to-day life, balance isn't about so much standing on one leg. It's about maintaining your stability and core strength while we are moving from posture to posture or movement to movement. So this is in effect what this video and the next one that I'm going to do is going to be about: maintaining our stability and our fluid movement as we move from posture to posture. And hopefully this will translate into our everyday life. As we get older, sometimes we think our balance isn't as good as it used to be, and we have a fear of falling. So just by working on these few postures and few exercises, hopefully it will give you a little bit more confidence with your balance, and it will give you some confidence in your movements in your daily life as well. So today we are going to start and indeed remain in a standing posture. What we're going to do today is have three poses, and we are going to link them all together. So we're going to move from one pose to the next pose to the next pose, allowing our breath to guide our movement, feeling the transfer of weight from one side of the body to the other. And if we do stumble, if we do have a little wobble or a little fall, that's okay. We know that we're not moving far. We have our yoga mat underneath us, grounding us down. And if you're like me, you've always got a little handy wall behind you as well that you can maybe hold on to as well in this practice. As I said, remembering that this balance sequence today is about finding our stability as we move from pose to pose, not just finding absolute stillness in a posture. We are always in movement. Whilst we can breathe, we are in movement. So we're going to use our breath to glide us slowly, gracefully through this short 10-minute practice today. We are going to start in a mountain pose. The feet can either be underneath the hips. For stability, you may want to take them a little bit wider. This first posture is all about noticing where you place your weight underneath the soles of your feet. So hopefully you can feel contact of the mat or the floor, if you don't have a mat, underneath your big toe, your small toe, the center point of your heel. You can feel your weight relatively evenly spread between the right-hand side of your foot, the left-hand side of your foot, the inside arches as well. You can feel your body rooting down through the floor. In all balance postures, in all postures, we start with our foundations. And if we are standing, our foundations are our feet. So in our mountain pose, we feel our feet rooting down to the earth. We find strength through our leg as we draw the energy up through the legs, relaxing the arms alongside the body, softening through the shoulders, and feeling some length through the front and the back of the body as well. If I just turn around just to give you a different angle on the mountain pose, you can give your shoulders a little bit of a shrug down if you want to. Imagine these shoulder blades are drawing down either side of your spine towards your imaginary back pockets here. Maybe give your glutes a bit of a squeeze. This really does help you feel a little bit more controlled within your core, within your center. And whilst we are in our mountain pose, we can connect with our breathing as well. We can connect with that yogic breathing, drawing the air in through the nose, feeling the expansion of the belly as we inhale. And then as we exhale, the belly button returning back towards the spine, all the while keeping the shoulders soft, the feet grounded, the body long here. We're going to hold these postures. There's three postures. We're going to hold each of them for about 5 breaths to begin with, and then we're going to link them all together using one breath to lead us into the next movement, which is where the balance aspect really comes into its own. Because when you move from one position to another, you do tend to hold the breath. So by focusing on our breathing at the beginning of the little sequence here, hopefully that will carry us through. So from our mountain pose, you might even have your eyes closed here to really notice where you are placing your weight. If your eyes are closed, just open your eyes for a moment and see if you can lift yourself up onto the balls of the feet. And then as you breathe out, slowly lower back down again. Let's move with the breath here. So we inhale, lifting up, and we exhale, lowering down. Just a couple more times here. You can probably see, if you're not focusing too much on your own, that I am wobbling a little bit here, and that's okay. Wobbling is always okay. Lifting it up and then taking it down. Now, if you want an extra challenge, you can close your eyes and see if you can lift up onto the balls of the feet and then lower it back down. Hold onto the wall if you want to, or a chair. We don't want anyone falling over. We are just focusing on seeing how we move in our balance postures when we cut off one of our senses. So we lift it up, closing the eyes, and we exhale. Down we go, always focusing on the breath. So we move from our mountain pose into a pose called chair, keeping the feet where they are. So we have our nice, strong, stable foundation. I'm just going to turn to the side a little bit here so you can see. And then from our mountain pose, we sit back as though we are going to sit our bottom towards a chair, bringing our hands to the heart. Imagine you are squeezing a block between your knees so that when we go down, we don't want the knees to fall in together. The knees are over the ankles and in line with our hips. So all we are doing from our mountain pose, sitting back onto our chair as we bring the hands to the heart. Stay here for about 3 to 5 breaths. Really works into the front of the legs here. Sitting that tailbone down towards your imaginary chair and then lifting back up. If you want another option with your arms, as we exhale and sit down, we can reach the arms out in front of us. Be very aware of these knees. Don't let them collapse in together. Draw your belly in. Stay strong in your chair. Couple of breaths before lifting back up and returning to mountain. It is quite a challenging posture, chair pose, so only lower down a couple of inches if you're finding it too intense on your thighs. So we've come from mountain pose to chair pose, back to mountain, and our third posture that we are linking into this trio of poses is tree pose. I'll turn around to face the front again. This is where we transfer the weight. We've had our feet solidly planted on the floor. Now we're going to shift the weight into one side. Doesn't matter which, 2 feet, we're going to do both sides. Transferring this weight into one foot, we're going to take the other foot and either keep the toes to the floor and the heel against the ankle. We can take the foot to the calf. We're going to avoid this knee joint. You might need to give the foot a little bit of a helping hand to place it on the inside of the thigh. I need to hold on to the wall while I talk and demonstrate. Try not to kick out into this hip here. We're standing tall and we're going to bring the hands to the heart. If your foot is against your thigh or your calf, if you push foot against leg, leg against foot, again, that helps with the balance. Be very aware of how your body is feeling in this pose. Wherever your foot is, the standing foot and ankle might be wobbling a little bit as you find your center of gravity and your balance. The leg that is the foot that is against the leg, the knee, you see I fall out as well all the time. So this bent knee, it might not come out too far. It might be slightly forward, and that's okay too. It depends on how much natural rotation we have going on in this hip socket. Wherever you are, we're just going to bring the hands towards the heart to begin with, focusing our gaze to a point in front of us and listening to the breath. You may have held your breath as you got yourself into this pose, but now you're relaxing into this posture. Allow the breath to flow. Whenever we come out of tree, we turn the knee forward and drop it to the floor. Let's have a little go on the other side. So whichever foot you did, we're going to do the other one now. We bring the weight into that foot, and then we take the opposite foot, either toes to floor, heel to ankle, foot to calf. Please avoid your knee joint. It just puts unnecessary pressure on the joint when we're standing. If you're sat down, that's okay, but standing, no foot to knee. Or we take the foot onto the inner thigh. Now, take the hands to the heart, find your focus, find the breath. As we are standing on one leg now, you may find that one side is easier than the other. It's usually my other side that's easier, but today, this seems to be the winner for me. Don't bring any judgment into this pose, just accept it. You might be wobbly today, you might try this tomorrow and be like a statue. Just as we feel different each day, so our balance postures and our balancing is different from day to day as well. Okay, so we've held that for a few breaths. We're going to turn the knee forward and drop our foot down towards the earth. Walk the feet out a little bit if you want to. The hips are feeling a little tight. What we're going to do now is move a little quicker through the postures. We're going to link the three of them together, holding them maybe for about 3 to 5 breaths. We'll go through that sequence twice, and then we'll go through the sequence 2 more times, incorporating 1 breath to 1 movement. Obviously, when we're coming in and out of tree, you may take more than 1 breath to get your foot in the position that works for you, but try and allow the breath just to flow in a lovely smooth rhythm, maybe taking an inhale for a count of 3, an exhale for a count of 3, or even 4 or 5 if you're feeling a little bit more relaxed. Okay, then let's link these postures together. Starting off in our mountain pose, planting those feet underneath the hips, just giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll down. Take a nice deep breath in, and as we exhale, maybe even sighing it out through the mouth. Focus your gaze on a point in front of you, something that's not moving. Again, that's another little trick to help with your balancing. Breathing in, nice smooth breath in and out. And with each breath, being aware of where you are carrying that weight underneath your feet. Maybe even rock yourself forward a little and backwards, keeping the entire sole of your foot on the floor, but just shifting the weight forwards and backwards. Let's just take 1 more breath here. Bringing our hands towards our heart, we're going to sink down into that chair pose now. You might even want to take your feet a little bit wider if you feel more stable. And we sink down onto our imaginary chair, squeezing our imaginary block. There's a lot of imagining going on today. If it feels comfortable to do so, you can even lift your arms up in front of you as we hold it here just for a few more breaths. The more intense the posture, the breath will begin to quicken. If you find this too much, just draw yourself back to your mountain pose. See if we can stay here just for 1 more inhale. And as we exhale, push through the feet, return to mountain, shift the weight into your right foot and take your left foot into its tree. Notice the breathing as we transition into our tree, holding it here for a couple of inhales, slowing the breath, controlling the focus, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Noticing how your body weight wobbles around on the ankle and the foot as you try and maintain your center of balance. And if you fall out of your tree, that's no problem. Just see if you can come back and join us in tree pose. We turn that left knee forward and we drop the foot back to the floor in our mountain. Transferring the weight into the left foot, taking our right foot into your tree. Pushing the foot against the leg if your foot is on your thigh or if it's on your calf. If the toes are on the floor, find the contact of the heel on that right foot into the ankle on that left leg. Softening the breath. Softening the gaze on that point in front of you as well. You're not giving anything the death stare. Everything is soft and relaxed and moving beautifully. We turn that right knee forward and we return the foot to the floor in our mountain pose. So we're going to do that one more time relatively slowly. Starting off in our mountain, resetting the breath in case it's run away with us. Resetting our foundations, feeling that weight underneath our feet, drawing us down towards the earth. One more soft breath here. Drawing the hands to the heart and sinking down into chair. Working with where you are today, only extending the arms if that feels right for you to do so. If you've got any lower back issues, keep your hands and your arms closer in towards your center. Focus the breath and the gaze as we take it back to mountain, transferring the weight now into that right foot, finding our tree pose. Let's have a little bit of a challenge in our tree pose now. So once you have your foot where you want it to be, let's inhale the arms up on the inhale. Exhale them out to the side. Inhale them back to center, taking a breath out. The next inhale takes them up, doing really well. Exhaling out. Inhale to center, turn that left knee forward and drop the foot to the earth. Shifting the weight into that left foot now. We're going to bring the right foot into your tree. Hands return to the heart. Standing tall on your planted foot here, so we're not kicking that left hip out towards the side. Finding the inhale and lift with the arms. Exhale to the side. Inhale to center. Take a breath out. Inhale up, last time. Exhale. Inhale. Knee turns. Foot is planted. Excellent work. Take a moment, shake the feet. Wiggle the hips. Pull your top down. Return to mountain pose. We're going to do it 2 more times. And for the last 2, we're just going to move slightly quicker. Not so quick that we forget the breath, using the breath to guide the movement and seeing if we can just move as smoothly and as controlled as we can through this little balance sequence. Finding your mountain. Roll the shoulders back and down. Take a breath in. As you exhale, sink it down into chair. Inhale, coming back up to mountain, shifting the weight into the right foot, taking the left foot onto the leg. Let's do 1 inhale up, 1 exhale out. Inhale in, turn the knee, plant it to the floor, transferring the weight smoothly into that left foot as we take the right foot into our tree, returning the hands to the heart. Taking a breath in as we lift, out. In, hands come back to center, knee turns forward, we plant the feet, Relax the arms by the side of the body in our mountain pose, taking a breath in, exhaling out into your chair. In, we come back to standing, bringing the weight into the right foot. The left foot comes into tree. Remember, you don't have to incorporate the hands, the arms if you don't want to. Allowing the breath to lift and open. Returning to center, turning the knee, planting the foot. Transferring that weight. Hands return to the heart. The breath is still moving. Inhaling up. Exhaling open. Inhaling back to center. Foot returns. Arms return. Mountain pose. Take a couple of breaths in your mountain pose, maybe even closing your eyes again, just to recenter yourself, reconnect with your breathing, with your foundations. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes, bringing your hands to your heart. Thank you for watching this video, and look out for part 2, where we will be adding on to this, still staying with 3 postures, but rather than staying in one space, moving a little bit on our mat. So challenging our balance a little bit more. That will be coming either later in the week or next week, so please look out for that as well. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Give me a like, drop any comments in the box below, and I will see you on your mat again very soon. Thank you.